हाँ तो आप सही कह रहे हैं, अगर तेवतिया 40+ नहीं करेंगे तो वो एंड मोमेंट के अंदर आते हैं नंबर 6 या 7 पे। अगर टीम की कंडीशन अच्छी हुई तो अगर एक ओवर के अंदर को 14 या 15 रन चाहिए तो वो जिता के चल जाएंगे, क्योंकि तेवतिया आज ड्रीम फॉर्म में चल रखे हैं आजकल।
देखो सुनो, मैं तो प्रिडिक्शन अपनी कर देता हूँ। वही देखो, आज तो चेंजेस की बात कर लेते हैं पहले। तो पहला पीबीकेएस से है। पीबीकेएस की टीम, या दोनों टीम्स में नो चेंजेस है, साफ बात कहूँ। पीबीकेएस की टीम, आपके पास बहुत अच्छे वो है, टैलेंट है आपके पास, यंग टैलेंट है। मुझे लगता नहीं आप कोई चेंजेस की तरफ दौड़ेंगे। आपको इम्प्रूव करना है बस अपना गेम। लास्ट गेम इनका किसके साथ था निशान?
किसका गेम?
पंजाब का।
पंजाब का लास्ट गेम आपके उससे था ना, क्या नाम है यार, सीएसके के बाद।
हेलो जॉन्स, हाय।
Hi,
नाइस टू मीट यू अगेन।
thanks a lot. Here
I
there
think
was
it's the
a
second time when we are meeting, and we enjoy with you.
Can we start?
Uh,
यस
yeah,
यस यस।
absolutely. So, John's first question from our audience only. They were asking that which are the four teams to qualify for this IPL?
I think two of the teams are almost sealed, like Gujarat
Yeah, yeah.
Titans and Lucknow, mainly because they have been so consistent and especially the bowling unit, Lucknow's bowling and Gujarat Titans bowling, they have one of the best bowling attacks along with RCB this year. And they have performed as well. So right now, Gujarat, Lucknow, and third team, even though Rajasthan has lost the plot in last two games, but still they have the ability to be in the top four, mainly because their spinners are so good. They have been big game changers. One of the issues they are going to face will be once pitch is going to slow down, how Josh Butler going to perform. Like Josh Butler has been their backbone in batting. If Josh Butler is not performing, their batting depth can be exposed as well. Even though one of the games, Rian Perrin scored that white 50, but still he can't do in each and every game. So that is where Rajasthan need to be more vigilant, especially if Josh Butler is going early, then the tail then does not have a big tail like Trent Bolt or Kuldeep Sen or Yuzi Chahal, Prasidh Krishna, etc. can't bat. That is why they need to be vigilant. But still, I still believe one or two games more as in among victories they can be in the top three, top four. Then that fourth spot is quite open. Anything can happen. There is RCB is there, then Punjab is there, then KKR is there, then there is Delhi is there. So there are lots of teams who can be in the top
Even there
four.
is CSK uh, making their place.
टफ टफ।
I think CSK is very tough. It's a mountain task right now. Even though
Definitely, but certainly when you talk about the last game for KKR, they won. So 10-4-6 ratio is there. So 10 matches, 4 win and 6 losses. Simultaneously, it can go with CSK as well. So definitely it is in the race, but beyond our thinking, that could happen as well for other teams as well.
yes, that fourth spot is quite open, especially after RCB losing lots of matches. I never expected that to happen.
Last 3 games they lost.
Yes, their batting has been so poor, especially the top order. Faf is not consistent. Virat hasn't scored much this year. Then yeah, it has been a huge task for the middle and lower order to perform. DK, Shabas, Maxi, then Hasaranga, etc. These guys can, especially Shabas or Hasaranga, etc., can win you one or two games. But if you ask them to win 5 or 6 or 7 games in a league stage, it is difficult for them as well. So that is where they have been putting too much pressure on that middle and lower order, and their bowling has been performing so well. Like Hazelwood has been really consistent. Asaranga has been taking the wickets. Ashraf Patel, even though he has been bit at cotton ball, but still he has performed. Then Siraj is coming well as well. The bowling has been good. The issue has been the top order. So we need to wait. I think it is going to be a close one, and exciting one as well.
There is a question from Devansh Scott. If GT wins today, should they give uh, Hardik and Shami 2 matches rest, Koshum to Jones. So what do you think?
I think it depends on the players. I don't know whether they will be looking for that trust, especially the momentum is really important. Like if you look at last year or last 2 years, RCB used to qualify into the playoff, but they used to lose lots of matches in the back end, and they used to stumble in the playoff stage as well. So the momentum is vital in the league, like 2 month league or 1 month league. So maybe they can give one game rest, but I don't think they'll be giving lots 2 or 3 games rest. Especially Shami has been their main bowler. He has been picking the wickets with the new ball and putting that extra pressure on that opposition middle order, etc.
Nowadays, one question is in trending that will Josh Butler breaks the record of Virat Kohli 973? What do you think? Is it happen?
I think it depends on pitches. Like pitches, if pitches is going to slow down, you can't expect to score that big runs. If you look at after 10 games, I think Josh Buttler is 7 runs above Virat Kohli right now. But Virat scored a couple of hundreds in his 11th or 12th game during the
Uh,
2016 season. So that is where I think Virat will be having the upper advantage, and the matches are is happening only in 4 grounds. If you look at in 2016 or last year, even when Warner scored that 845 in 2016, they were playing in different grounds. But right now, if you look at the ball will be gripping, there will be turn as well, especially it will be more from the May second week or third week. So that is where batters will be having the struggle. It won't be easier to score what they did in April. So it will be really tough for Butler. I believe he might end up with somewhere around 800 something if they are qualifying to the playoff as well. Like in playoff, they'll be going to Eden Gardens. So we all know Eden Gardens is a very good track to bat on. We have seen the New Zealand series, etc. The batting has been so easy. 200 or 190 was scored. If Josh Butler can have that big game in the playoff, etc., maybe he can go near to 850 something. But 973 is really tough for him right now.
yeah, definitely he has to reach a high peak score for that, but certainly at the same time we shouldn't overlook the pitch's condition. You rightly said that. One question I would like to ask: who among the youngsters this year's IPL can make it to the Indian cricket team, looking ahead for the T20 World Cup? There are certain youngsters that are being currently seen as one of the most in their prime form. So, who, according to you, can make to the Indian cricket team?
It will be really tough for anyone to make it to the World Cup squad. Maybe Umran Malik has an outside chance, but
Yeah,
it's really
definitely
difficult.
an edge over advantage Umran Malik has. But other than that, if you could, because audience was also asking the question, same question.
I think it will be really tough because if you look at the World Cup team as well, it is almost fixed as well. Like if you look at the last home season happened, there were some combinations, teams trying out, and everyone was getting the games as well. Like KL Rahul is fixed opening with Rohit, number 3 will be Virat, number 4 will be Rishabh, number 5 will be Sky, number 6 will be Hardik, number 7 will be Jadeja, then Harshal Patel, UZ, Bumrah, Bhuvaneshwar, etc.
Take your time, take your time. Uh, so he was just discussing about the playing 11. Meanwhile, a minute rest he takes. So definitely we'll switch on to next topic. Should CSA continue with Conway next matches? Okay. Johns is back. So
Coming to the World Cup squad, as I mentioned earlier, that might be the playing 11. Then if you look at the backup wicketkeeper, one among from Ishan or Sanju will be going. Then there will be second spinner. I believe it might be Ravi Bishnoi, and there is outside chance for others as well. There is Rahul Chahar is there, Kuldeep Yadav, etc. But I believe Ravi Bishnoi has that upper hand right now. Then the third seamer option. Like there are lots of bowlers. Siraj is there, Avesh Khan is there, Natarajan is there. Then there is Akshadeep is there. Then maybe Umran Malik, etc. So that is where I think the sport is wide open. Anything can happen. Then that all rounder. Maybe I believe right now Thakur has that upper hand. Even though there is ventilation is there, then Thakur's upper hand. Deepak Chahar is injured as well. We don't know when he will be coming back. So I believe Thakur might have that edge as well. So this might be the combination for the World Cup. So I don't think any youngster will be getting opportunity right now. It will be really difficult as well. But anything can happen. There is around 20 T20 games ahead of the World Cup. They'll be playing five versus South Africa. Then Ireland series there is there. England tour is there. Then West Indies to Asia Cup, etc. So there are lots of T20 games. But still, I believe it will be really tough for any youngster to get that opportunity for the World Cup.
Uh,
One question.
One
What
question
song will
only. Nishant, 1 minute, just the same question according. Uh, T20 World Cup would be there in Australia. So we shouldn't I think we shouldn't focus more on spinners as compared to pacers. We should focus more on pacers because we see
according
that
to the pitches?
big stadiums are there and pitches are almost flat, giving an edge over advantage to pacers. So definitely we would have spot for only two spinners or three spinners maximum. So who according to you can make it to the playing 11 in spinners list? Because there is a vast
For
list
sport.
of 6 to 7 spinners currently. We see Ravichandran Ashwin, we see Ravi Bishnoi, Ravindra Jadeja. We go with Kuldeep or Chahal, five spinners. 6 spinners can make it.
For
So
three
Jadeja is also
spinners.
there. So 6 to 7 spinners are currently. So who, according to you, can make into the playing 11, giving taking the condition for the Australian pitches?
I think Jadeja will fix. He'll be batting at number seven. We need Jadeja as the batsman more than Jadeja as the bowler. Maybe he might be bowling one or two overs. And if you look at the last Australia tour as well, especially the T20 series, he batted so well in that series. He scored around 40 odd some from 20 balls, etc. So we need Jadeja as a batsman more. Then the spinner, I believe, usually has that upper hand right now. The way he has been bowling even in IPL, when he came back to the Indian team after the World Cup, he has been one of the best bowlers for Indian team. And there is only one spot for the spinner. As I mentioned earlier, Jadeja is batting at number seven. Then that all-rounder is number eight. Number eight might right now it might be Harshad Patel, but anything can happen. Then the Bumrah is there, Bhuvaneshwar is there. So there is only one spot left for a spinner. And right now, I believe it will be Yuzi Jahan. He is the leading spinner right now, even though, as you mentioned, Ashwin is there, Vishnu is there, Kuldeep is there, Rahul Chahar is there, but still, whatever he has done in last 6 7 months and whatever he has achieved for last 5 to 6 years, I believe Yuzi Jahan deserves to go to that World Cup.
Yeah, definitely. Because last time we made a mistake, we preferred record rather than the current form. In the later last time, we preferred over UZ Ashwin over UZ, seeing his record. So definitely we need to modify it. One question, very good question. I think why ICC didn't use the ASPA 80 anti-due agent in T20 World Cup 2021.
I think it depends on ICC. We can't tell what is the main reason behind that. Only ICC can tell. And if you look at the matches was starting around 7:30 p.m. or 8 p.m. So I don't know the exact reason why they didn't use. Maybe they might have used some due agent something. We don't know the exact name. And there was a toss. Toss was a big factor as well during the World Cup, especially if you look at what Australia has achieved during that World Cup. They won most of the tosses. They elected to chase innings and every game, and their batting was suitable for that occasion. So played a vital part, but I don't know more about this due factor, etc. What happened in the IPL? We all knew it came in the commentators was speaking about that. Even most of the websites has reported as well. They used the due, and that was a big factor as well, especially in that first 2 weeks. It played a major part. Yes, we all know what happened during last UAE edition. Like in the first month, every match was winning by the chasing team. But that didn't happen this year in this IPL. That is mainly because of this due factor, due agent, etc. But I don't know more about that World Cup. So,
One question from Brilliant Arnav. He is asking who's the best value for a money player according to you in this IPL?
I think there has been many players who has performed so well, who got a very good amount. If you look at Josh Butler, got around 11 or 12 crores, and he is the leading run scorer right now. And coming to the auction, who has done so well, I believe, as I mentioned earlier, there are very good names like David Warner has been performing so well in this IPL, who got a very good amount during the auction. Then there are a few others as well. So
Even Mahesh Deekshana was quite decent.
I, so it's tough to say a particular name, but one of the players, especially from Indian youngsters, it has been Tilak Verma. He has been the backbone of Mumbai Indians batting along with Suryakumar Yadav. Like he came in the tough situation. He batted number three, number four, number five, etc. And he did so well in each and every position as well. Tilak Verma will be one of the big names who made that big impact after getting that quite a good money as well. So from Indian point of view, I believe it will be Tilak Verma.
What's wrong with captaincy issue with Jadeja? First Jaddu, then MSD. What do you think as a CSK fan? Why CSK making weird decisions in this IPL? What do you think, Jones?
I think it's really tough to judge Jadeja as a captain right now. If you look at, we need to remember that Deepak Chahar was not available. Devon Conway was not available for the few games. There was injury issues. If you look at Adapillini, he was ruled out. Bonini was injured. So everything was going against CSK. So it's tough to judge based on captaincy, and the captaincy changeover that was mainly because the game of Jadeja was affecting more. If you look at the way Jadeja performed when he was a captain, he was really below par. Especially they gave him around 16 crores, so they were expecting some very good fireworks from Jadeja this year, more as a batsman. But he has been a big disappointment. Even he was dropping the catches as well because many things was going to the mind. And Dhoni explained it so well during the last post match presentation. What happened with Jadeja, the captain, and Jadeja, the player. So that might be the reason. I really hope CSK comes back, and we need Jadeja the player more than Jadeja the captain right now. That especially finishing, even though Dhoni has done so well this year, but you need to have best of Jadeja, and that was one of the reasons why CSK won last year. Jadeja batsman was making lots of impact. He improved as a finisher, as a batsman in the last 4 overs. So I really hope that Jadeja comes back very soon.
So, what will be the future of CSK? Will they go again with Jadeja in the next year after Dhoni's retire, or they will go from they will go for Ruturaj, or they will pick from auction someone to captain CSK?
I think it is better to give Ruturaj. Like I believe Dhoni will be playing next year as well. We all know Dhoni has told he will be playing his last match in Chepauk. So I believe Dhoni will be playing next year. And Ruturaj will be prepared by 2024 as well. Like he has been leading Maharashtra. We saw what he has done as a captain, as a batsman last season. So he'll be better prepared, and that is better for the franchise as well. Like Jadeja, you need Jadeja right now is 33, 34. So you need to have best of Jadeja as a player right now. So I believe it won't be suiting to give the captaincy to him. And Ruturaj has that calmness in him as well. We have seen in the last couple of years. So I believe Ruturaj might be the better option from 2024.
One question is that CSK should continue with Conway next matches or your four overseas in next match
I
against
think
RC.
Con will be continuing. I don't think there will be many changes right now. One of the changes can be Moin Ali inform Mitchell Chandler. That might be the one change I can see. And then there is Jadeja as well. And then there is Bravo. Maybe it will be harsh on Pretorius, but with Conway performing so well, I believe they might look for that. If Bravo is fit, Pretorius might go out, and if Moinini is fit and available, Sander might go out. So that is the only change I can see moving forward for CSK, because you need to have Tikshana. He has been bowling so well, especially in power plays in middle phase as well. That was one of the things CSK lacked in first few games. So Tikshana is really vital. So the changes can be, if Moinli is fit, Sandar will be going out. If Bravo is fit, Pretorius might be going out as well.
Who will be the orange cap holder this season, Josh Butler or KL Rahul? Any
I think
question
it
in
will
that?
be Josh Buttler. He is far more away right now. And almost both of them has played similar matches as well. And as I mentioned earlier, the pitches will be slowing down. It won't be easy. It won't be easy for batters, but still, Josh Butler might have the edge right now. Even though KL Rahul might be the better player in these slow decks, but still the runs difference is far. So it will be really difficult for KL Rahul to end up first right now.
As T20 World Cup is coming, so do you think IPL performance matters the most in the selection of T20 World Cup squad? In the last year, we picked Varun Chakravarti, Rahul Chahar on the basis of IPL, I think, but they didn't perform well as we want. So, what do you think? Will they continue like this only to pick on the basis of IPL, or they will do some uh, interesting choices like Ashwin?
I don't think it will be like last year. Last year, India didn't had many T20 games after the IPL, but this time, if you look at, as I mentioned earlier, there is around 20 T20 games. So you can try out players, and India has that fixed 20 players for the World Cup as well. So I don't think the issue that happened last year will be happening this year as well.
Everyone is talking about CSK and MI, but I think the real problem is with Kolkata and Punjab. And on the auction table, we saw Punjab is very picked very good team, but while playing, they are not performing like the players they have. Bhanuka Rajapaksha, Johnny Bairstow, Jatin Sharma. I think they are going for the reputation on the basis of reputation. If Bhanuka Rajapaksha is performing well in first 2 or 3 matches, why they dropped him and pick Johnny Bairstow, who's not in form. So, what do you think, Johns will? Uh, what mistakes are they doing in this tournament?
The biggest issue has been the form of Shikhar Dhawan. If you look at Shikhar Dhawan, need to play that anchor role and set the stage for Liam Livingston, Bairstow, Rajapaksha, Jinesh Sharma, etc. So Shikhar Dhawan hasn't been consistent. What Shikhar Dhawan did for Delhi Capitals last 3 years, that was expected from Shikhar Dhawan to do this year as well. Like he should be staying till the 10th over, 12th over, set a platform, and the middle order will be going after the bowling. But this year, Shikhar Dhawan hasn't cracked the IPL so well like he did for Delhi Capitals. So that was a major missing link, and the issue of Mayank Agarwal as well. Like he has been trying too many things. He was going after the bowling, and they failed to get the start. So I think that was the major issue. And I believe Shikhar Dhawan is coming good. If he can play till the 10th over, I believe you can see the best of Punjab Kings. So that was the missing link. And coming to Kolkata, I believe they didn't make many good changes in the auction as well. They almost did the same side which played last year. They didn't try to improve apart from few players. So that even though they entered into the IPL final last year, but it was mainly because a few one-man shows. They didn't play as a team even last year as well, and that they are suffering this year as well. So I believe they didn't do that well compared to Punjab Kings. Punjab Kings issue has been the performance of openers. They should be setting the platform for the middle order players.
Uh, KK are doing lots of changes, and first of all, they open from Aaron Finch and Venkatesh here, then Ajinkya Rahane, then Venkayer. Then they dropped Venkayer, then Sam Billings, Sunil Narine. So, do you think did this affect their game the most, or they are not performing like that they are performing in last couple of years?
I think they were not winning the games, especially after that start they got. So teams will be looking to try many things as well. Mainly, if you look at even Mumbai Indians made lots of changes. A champion team like Mumbai Indians who won the IPL for the five times, they dropped Tim David, they tried Fabian Allen, Daniel Sams, then Taima Mills, then they tried Murugan Ashwin, then there was the new guys. There were lots of changes. So it
Ritik
happens
Shoki.
to any team. If you start losing, there will be changes as well. So it's tough to blame them. Mainly, the issue has been the auction. They didn't do that well in the auction, and they are suffering right now. So that is where better sides did well in the auction. And even though Gujarat Titans didn't had a great auction, but they tried to cover a few things. Especially, you never expected Rahul Tiwatiya to do that well in this IPL. Or David Miller. If you look at David Miller, didn't had a great IPL in last 4 or 5 seasons, but he came so well this year. So sometimes some things can happen together, and that is happening for Gujarat Titans. But it can't happen for every team. So you need to do well in the auction. That is where almost 40 to 50% of IPL will be won, and rest of the things will be won by the strategies or what they are doing in the league stage, etc. But the auction is there, the backbone for any franchise.
One question is there is Virat and Rohit form is major concern for T20 World Cup.
I don't think so. Mainly because if you look at, there haven't been that great performance in IPL in last 2 3 seasons. But they used to do so well for Indian team. So I don't think you need to look too much into the IPL performance, especially of Rohit and Virat, because they haven't done that great in IPL in 2020 or 2021, etc.
One last question of mine: which players you want to see in this upcoming India versus South Africa T20 series? As Rahul Tripathi is there, Umran Malik is there, Arshdeep Singh is there. So which player you want to see in Indian squad for bilateral series only?
It depends on who are going to be rested. I don't think Rahul Tripathi will be getting the opportunity. He might get in the Ireland series, but South Africa series it might be tough for him. So the bowlers will be getting the opportunity. Like Akshadip will be getting opportunity. Umran Malik will be getting opportunity. I believe Natraj will be coming back as well. Then almost the core side like Bumrah, Bhuvaneshwar, then there is UC will be there, Vishnu will be there, Harshad Patel, etc. So I think the core will be continued, and the addition of Akshadeep and Umran Malik. I don't think there will be too many new faces in this series against South Africa. We might see lots of new faces in the Ireland T20 series.
And uh, do you see Dinesh Karthik in T20 World Cup? As there are so many hypes on him that DK will be our number 6, number 7 position finisher for Indian team in T20 World Cup.
I think it's really tough. As I mentioned earlier, the top seven will be KL, Rohit, Virat, Pant, Sky, Hardik, Jadeja. So there is no spot for Dinesh Karthik right now. But anything can happen as well. As I mentioned earlier, there are 20 plus T20 games. Any player can come good at this certain stage. Some players will be dipping their form. So it's really difficult to say about the World Cup plans. But as if now, it's really difficult for Dinesh Karthik.
So thank you, Johns, for joining us. Do follow CricCrazy John's Twitter account for latest cricket updates, news, and analysis. And we enjoyed a lot talking with you and talk about cricket with you. It's always a great moment while talking with you. So thank you, Johns, for joining us. And what do you want to say?
Thanks a lot for inviting me as well. Whoever watching this video, do subscribe and like the YouTube channel. There are lots of very good contents as well, especially during the IPL and after IPL as well. There is lots of cricket, so do subscribe this YouTube channel.
Thank you so much, Johns, for joining us.